We'll start with the series finale. Oh, Rachel, man. I'm sorry you're not here. Series finale of Dances with T-Wolves. Sunday started off great for the T-Wolves. They blew out the Lakers by 22 points. Cat and Wiggins both scored 28 apiece and did it in style. But just moments after the game, Minnesota CEO Ethan Kaysen and GM Scott Layden walked into Tom Thibodeau's office and fired him, league sources told ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski. Thibodeau, though, had no idea that his ouster was imminent. According to sources, Tibbs led the T-Wolves, by the way, to their first playoff appearance in 14 years last season. But his status has been in jeopardy ever since the Jimmy Butler saga happened, and he demanded a trade prior to the start of the season and was ultimately shipped to Philly for Robert Covington and Dario Saric. Cat told reporters earlier today, no one saw it coming. They hit us all, a little curveball. We just celebrated a good win. So we all went home thinking the day was over. It was just the beginning. And here's what D. Rose had to say about his longtime coach.
And even coming here, like everybody didn't know I was going to play this way. Like, he believed in me. I believed in myself. My family believed in me. And my little guy, Art, believed in me. And we got it done.
So, Chiney, did Tibbs deserve to get fired essentially at the halfway mark of the season?
I am not against this, largely because I think they're right now at the 11th position in the West, and they really have been searching for leadership, especially in the locker room. And I think if they make a change that could become a catalyst in which they could start winning, why not wait? You know, why wait? Do it now. I think the thing here is it's hard to wear two hats in the NBA, be head coach and also be GM. So in my opinion, I think this was more so about him getting a huge load. He had a huge opportunity with a big three in Butler, Cat, and Wiggins, and nothing really transpired. Then you make the trade, and then next thing you get, Covington and Saric, but it's not necessarily like they're better off or better for it. So I'd say why wait? Do it now. Find leadership and make a push.
Here's the thing. I'm with you. Those jobs are diametrically opposed at times, and that becomes a big problem is that, you try to look at that situation objectively, and it's just impossible to do that if you're in that spot. But the timing of it, Mark, was it strange to you?
Yeah, I kind of felt like when the Jimmy Butler trade and the thing didn't happen, like the Grim Reaper was sitting in the room, whether it was yesterday or All-Star break or after the season, something was going to happen. And so it just oddly was yesterday.
But they're 15 and 12 since the Jimmy Butler trade. They're actually better since then.
Yeah.
That's because they got the locker room back, though. Like, immediately Cat's numbers went up. They started winning a little bit. But it's sort of like you see what the potential is there, Mark, and it just has stayed the same.
I think it was deeper than what the record is. It just seemed like there's just a lot of mess, a lot of bad blood. And not all of it's Tibbs' fault, but just the way the season started, it was a big cloud.
Why not get rid of him, though, before the Jimmy Butler deal, when maybe you could have gotten more?
Or before the Lakers game when you bought a team.
Well, why let him make those big decisions? That just doesn't make any sense.
Well, the decision is odd. The change is odd. I guess we'll get to that in a second because I didn't understand that. Yeah. But get KG back in there. Tell him to help this team out.
Hey, I'm not opposed to that.
He was supposed to be a part owner anyway. It's time to make him part of it.
They do need someone to kind of right the ship there. There's no question. But assistant coach Ryan Saunders, who's 32 years old, will take over as Minnesota's interim coach. He's the son of the late great coach Flip Saunders, who had 2 stints with the T-Wolves. Woj reports that Fred Hoiberg and Chauncey Billups, our guy, are potential long-term replacements as either general manager or head coach. So, Mark, what's the next step for this franchise?
I'm worried for him. I didn't understand why Ed Pickney didn't get a stronger look. He's been in the league for 16 years, former player, 16 years as an assistant. Mm-hmm. I wish Ryan the best. I loved his father. His father was a great coach. But I think this team has too much at stake to put it in the hands of somebody so inexperienced.
And I liked it when I saw that Chauncey's name is in the mix, and we've all got to
after the season.
I know it's true, but I do think when you're thinking, you're right. Right now, that's a problem that they have to address. But if they're thinking about later on, I like this former NBA player route because I think you have the ear. That's the thing. These are the answers that they need to provide.
So let me ask you this though, Fred Hoiberg. I know he was an assistant GM there before, so I get that. Mm-hmm. But as a coach, why is he so sought after?
Must be tight with the owner, because it surely didn't go well in Chicago. I like the Monty Williams mention.
Yes, I agree.
I thought he should have never got fired in New Orleans. He led them to the playoffs, which they hadn't been to a while. He's obviously had some really dark times. But to me, there's he's as good as a coach and free agent as there is right now. I think Monty Williams would be great.
Hoiberg told our Zach Lowe that he prefers to stay in coaching, whether it's at the NBA or college level, rather than joining a front office. So he says, my passion is in coaching. That's what Hoiberg told Zach.
And he's a former Wolf, so I'm sure that has something to do with it. But
we have to think about, like, how good is this team? And I think the big reason why we saw a firing is largely because this is a team that a lot of people saw with potential, right? Yeah. And it's sort of been floundering. And this is why I really like the idea of a GM that was a former NBA player coming into the role, potentially a Chauncey Billups. Largely because this is a guy that understands the NBA. Yeah. He can do his job. He's great at evaluating talent. I mean, listen to him every day on NBA Countdown. But more importantly, you also have a guy that can help develop a team, which is why when you name former NBA players, I think it's even better. You look at the Elton Brand experiment. Like, this is a strong look to have a guy that can do both with one title, because you gave 2 titles before and it didn't work.
Let's talk about
this.
Is
the Hoiberg thing worth doing? Is that it's too?
Yeah, I don't get the Hoiberg thing.
I think he should go back to college. I think he'd be a great college coach.
Agreed.
He was a great college coach, but the NBA thing was
this is a bigger issue, though. I think we're so comfortable with, I guess, quote unquote, recycling NBA coaches and saying, hey, if they land in a better position, look at Mike Budenholzer, look at even Dwayne Casey, and they can help teams. And I think we're so comfortable.
But those guys won.
Yeah, but they did
were playoff coaches.
Win, but I think it's like, if you're one stop away,
they didn't lose the ship.
Right. Yeah. And Hoiberg had the one playoff appearance, but he wasn't necessarily a playoff coach like those guys were. How good is this team this season? Are they a playoff team, Chiney?
They could be. Again, they're 2.5 games back of probably the 8th spot, and that's the beauty of being in the West. It's a wild, wild West. They could be, and that's why I think that's why they did the firing now, so that they can make a push. They can have a different voice. I think this team needs a different voice talking to those young players so that it motivates them each and every game.
Are they a playoff team?
West is tough. Yeah. There's very little margin for error. They better take off winning now.
Yeah, this is the time. Yeah, I don't think they make it necessarily.
Changes here.